Hello, Snow West. It's Christopher, your pirate guide for West Yellowstone and Island Park. And about a year ago, I issued an invitation to see if any of you wanted to become self-appointed snowmobile ambassadors, much like I am myself. And now a year's come and gone, and I thought it was time that we stop and did a checkup and see how you're doing. See if any of you have followed through on the challenge, as it were. I was out on Amazon today, and it's in the middle of what they call Prime Week, and there's all kinds of stuff for sale. And I was just looking at things and I noticed that there's drones for sale and there's cameras for sale and all the accessories that we use for creating content. And it made me think back that, it's only been a year or so since I'd issued that challenge, and I'm curious to know, did you follow through? Did any of you accept the challenge that the pirate gave you and go out and create some social media? Did you create some content? Did you do something for your snowmobile club? Did you get out there and help promote the sport in some way, shape, manner, or form? If you did, congratulations. And I would like you to share that with me. I am genuinely interested to hear, what did you do in the last 12 months to help the sport of snowmobiling grow? Did you take a newbie out for a ride? Did you introduce someone to sledding? Did you take a trail rider and introduce them to mountain riding? Did you do a good deed, do a good service for your local snowmobile club? Did you do some trail maintenance? Tell me what you did to get out there and help promote the best sport in the world. For me, those of you guys that follow along with the pirate know that last year was a very busy year for me. I've been learning how to create the social media, learning how to create video and do editing and do drone flights and all the stuff that goes along with it. Today, I was out shopping personally for a microphone so I can do some voiceovers on the drone video, which is something that is badly lacking on my videos. I need to learn how to get that done and how to make that work. But I am curious what you did. So here's your chance to shine, guys. If you've been out there and you've created some content, if you've shared the word, if you've spread the love and appreciation for the best sport on earth, kindly let the pirate know. And I'd like to sing your praises and share that with everybody else. Today is Thursday night. Thursday, I think we're like the 9th maybe. I'm not 100% certain on that. But I've got a big smoke coming up. This has nothing to do with snowmobiling, except maybe it does. I don't know if any of you guys are smokers. I enjoy smoking. And I'm not talking about cigarettes and tobacco. I'm talking about meat. Tomorrow, I've got 90 to 100 pounds of pig that I'm going to smoke. My nephew called me and invited me to participate in a big party. He's invited 350, 400 people to his house. He's roasting a pig luau style, but he was afraid he didn't have enough meat. He called and asked Uncle Chris, would you mind throwing a couple of hunks of ham or pork, onto the smoker and cook them? I said, no problem. I've got 2 pellet smokers and I love smoking. So I'm setting up for a 20-hour cook tomorrow. And I've got somewhere between 90 and 100 pounds of pork roast that I'm going to put on the smoker. I'm going to be a busy boy cooking meat. And I don't know, maybe some of you guys do that in the summertime. It is not impossible, but it is challenging to smoke meats in the middle of winter, even with an insulation kit. When it gets down to 0 degrees, boy, it's mighty hard to keep that core temperature inside the smoker high enough that you get a good, decent cook. But in the summertime, when it's 90 degrees like it is right now, not a challenge at all. This will be it'll be a lot of fun. It will be the largest cook that I have ever done. On the 4th of July, I used to host parties at our house where we would regularly have 300, 325 people. But I've never exceeded 350, and my nephew is concerned that he might have 500 people show up to his house on Saturday. It's going to be a very big event. So he had called and asked if I could kick in an extra 100 pounds of meat, just in case he had more people than he was expecting. But that's an awful lot of fun, Like I say, it doesn't have a lot to do with snowmobiling, but it does round out your life when you do fun things for people. And I could certainly see doing that for a sled club if we wanted to get one of our local clubs together down here in Idaho Falls area or Island Park, West Yellowstone area. Drag the smoker along, do a big cook, get together, swap stories, have a little fun. Nothing wrong with that at all. On another subject, have you noticed that in the last several days, your feed has suddenly filled up with snowmobile content again? Now, I've been running snowwest.com in the forums since 2008, 2009. And we've got 123,000 registered members on the forums. It's a fairly big site. Gives me a lot of data that I can look at over the years. Really consistently, year after year, the snowmobile forums hit rock bottom. So the lowest number of attendance, lowest number of posts, reactions, participation, everything between the 4th week of June and the 1st week of July. Just absolutely happens every single year. The high point, random as heck, man. We can peak in December, January, February, or March. That's all a matter of snow, but the low point, always the same. As we just crossed that low point last week, suddenly this week, I see all the other content creators are all coming back out of the woods, and my feeds are all filling up with content again, which makes me smile. I love seeing it. You know, I'm an easy guy. I enjoy seeing snowmobile content. I enjoy seeing some of the other nonsense go away, and all the other creators that I enjoy watching start putting content out. Now, at this point in July, yeah, it's all old content. It's all being recycled, but again, who cares? It's fun to hear the brap and see the snow, and everybody's mindset just changes as we roll into the middle of July. Suddenly people start slowly, incrementally, but they start thinking about snowmobiling again. And I see the traffic on the forum start to climb, and the traffic on Facebook and Instagram and, you know, over on TikTok, it'll all start climbing from here on. The big jump occurs in August. Around the 15th of August, we really start to roll into the season, and sledding really starts to get on people's minds. For us at Snow West, that has a lot to do. Usually the first issue of the magazine is coming together in the middle of the end of August. And once that goes out, that really, you know, lights a fire under everybody, and we start having some fun. But I was just curious, is it just me? Or have you guys noticed that there is a real difference in many of the major content creators have started posting once again in just the last couple of weeks? Well, the farther I'm walking, the more the wind's picked up. So I went ahead and put what's called the dead cat on the microphone. Hopefully that'll make my voice a little bit clearer to you guys. Earlier on, I mentioned that I was on Amazon and I was looking for a microphone. I need a desktop mic that I can do voiceovers for the drone shots. But I failed to mention, okay, so this is Amazon's Prime Week and everything's on sale. If you've ever thought about, you know, gee, I'd love to have a drone. I want to go out there and shoot some of these aerial videos when I'm out riding. I'm here to tell you, there are some smoking deals on Amazon. You can pick up a drone for $100 right now. For $200 or $300, you can get a really nice drone. Now, the pirate is not telling you to go out and buy a drone before you buy a radio, because a lot of you guys need to go buy some radios. There's a serious shortage of radios among you when you come out here to come riding in the mountains in the wintertime. But if you've got the basics, if you've already got yourself a radio and you've done a little AVI training, maybe you got an AVI pack, then by all means, consider going out and picking up an action camera. You know, a little DJI Osmo Action 5 or a GoPro, or, you know, picking up a drone. Have some fun, guys. I mean, if you're taking any time at all to whip your phone out during the winter, or your camera, and you're shooting some content, you know, which is easy and it's fun, and it's such a blast to be able to share what you're actually doing with your friends and family. You know, you throw it up on your Facebook channel, your Facebook page, or your YouTube channel, and let the world see that you were out there having a good old time. I don't think there's anything besides actually taking somebody riding that is as influential to making them fall in love with the sport as a well-done video. And you know, the only way to do it is just to get out there and do it. Just make a decision. You're going to take out your camera. You're going to take out your phone like I'm doing right now. And all these videos I shoot, for the most part, on a simple Apple iPhone. You know, nothing terribly complex about what I'm doing. There's all kinds of good editing software out there. Loads of it is free. I use something called CapCut. Doesn't cost anything at all. Perfectly usable. You can self-teach yourself and, you know, have a good time. I go on YouTube and I watch YouTube videos that teach me how to use the software. But I really would encourage you, if you get out there and you're having fun this winter, consider becoming an ambassador. Consider, you know, giving something to the sport, helping out, whether it's your club or it's just your local group of riders. Shoot a couple of videos, make a couple of shorts, share them with your friends, share them with the members of your club or your riding group, and help promote the sport. We could certainly use as many ambassadors for the sport as we can get. And mind you, you don't have to be Dave Nerona knocking out crazy videos every single day for Skidoo. He's fun, he's entertaining, but you know, you can just be you. Just like, you know, the pirate's being the pirate. This is, you know, as I'm fond of saying, nobody pays me to do this. I do it for the pure love of the sport. And I would encourage you guys to do the exact same thing. Become an ambassador. Do it for the pure love of the sport, for no other reason that you love snowmobiling. You want to share snowmobiling. You want to get more people out of their house, off of the Xbox, you know, away from the fridge and the television and out there in the woods and the mountains and enjoying God's majesty. And, you know, when it comes to the mountains at 8 or 9 or 10,000 feet, that is God's majesty. I don't care whether you're, you know, a devout Christian or not. It doesn't make any difference. That's about as majestic as it gets on earth for us. Well, I'd love to be able to say I rode at 14 or 16 or 18,000 feet. Those opportunities are pretty far and few between. Certainly in North America, I'm not sure if there's anywhere we can get above 15,000 feet. There might be one of you guys that tells me I'm wrong though. Let me know, I'd be curious. It'd be a heck of a place to have a turbo when you're up that high. That would really make a profound difference. By now, some of you may be wondering where the first ATV videos are. Well, let me tell you about that. I went in last week and I placed my orders for all the accessories that I needed. Basically, you know, storage lockers, or I don't know what you'd really call them, the various baskets that bolt onto the ATVs. But I needed stuff to carry the cameras, to carry the microphones, to carry the monopod, the tripod, all the accessories, all the junk that I got to haul around, you know, the drone and the batteries and et cetera, et cetera. And I got a call yesterday from the local shop. Hey, Chris, just wanted to let you know the order's been delayed. You know, it's coming from you know, Saskatchewan or wherever, but it's going to take a few days longer than we expected. And like, yeah, no surprise. I'm perfectly all right. But until I get that stuff, unless I want to put a backpack on and ride with a backpack, I'm pretty well out of luck. I'm not going to be able to go up there and shoot anything productive. And even when I get that, the first ride or two, I suspect, are going to be limited in what I can do until I get mounts and some new hardware to figure out how I'm going to attach everything to the ATV. I might be able to do exactly what I do with the snowmobile and put everything on my helmet and do everything by hand. I'm truly not sure. I admit I am really looking forward to seeing what it's like to hold the camera. You know, this gimbal that I'm holding right now with a bare hand in the middle of winter when it's 10 degrees, 15 degrees below zero. This sucks, I'll be really honest. It's hard. I carry 3 or 4 extra gloves that are very, very thin just for manually holding this gimbal and not freezing. And there are times where, boy, I'll tell you what, it gets cold. I'm hoping to pick up a pair of Climb's electric gloves this year. I want to try some heated fingers and see if that makes a difference. That's probably, as far as shooting video goes, one of the hardest things I do the whole year is just trying to keep my hands warm when I'm holding this gimbal. Shooting with the camera on the helmet's piece of cake, man, that's easy. And last year I found a new device. I do use DJI. I'm a real big fan of DJI because it all integrates. The gimbal talks to the phone talks to the microphones, and the microphones talk to the stabilizers and the software and all of it. It's just fabulous. But one of the new things I found last year was a remote control for the camera. So if any of you guys come riding with me, you'll notice a little button on my left-hand hand grip. And I can use my button and just push that to turn the helmet cam on and off now. And I don't have to reach up there and try to listen carefully for the little beep telling you that it's turned on and the other beep that tells you it turned off. That was a really nice accessory. It's a little thing, but you know, just makes my job easier. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to do the exact same thing on the ATV, that I'll mount a handlebar control there. I'd like to get a mount on the ATV as well for doing video. Maybe try one of the 360 cameras. I've not played with those, but so many people are using them now and so many people like them, and they're also on sale on Amazon right now. Again, just there's some great deals on technology. If any of you guys are thinking about that, you ought to check it out. There's probably all kinds of sled hardware as well for those of you that are looking for accessories, like a radio for when you come out here riding in the middle of winter. I'm going to beat some of you over the head with that. Don't show up without a radio. That's just criminal. Maybe you guys don't use them in the Midwest or the back East. I don't understand it, but boy, out here, you want to have a radio. We get separated really fast, really common. And when I can't talk to you and you can't talk to me, that just doesn't make everybody comfortable. And I'd rather have everybody be as safe as we possibly can. One other thing I wanted to mention, you may have noticed during the last week that President Trump signed an executive order revoking the Roadless Act. And I'm totally in support of this, and the Blue Ribbon Coalition is in support of this. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, Idaho was not subject to the Federal Roadless Act. They instead submitted their own Roadless Act to the federal government for approval and self-governance for all intents and purposes, for lack of a better term. So when President Trump voided the Federal Roadless Act, it doesn't look like it had any impact on Idaho at all. It is entirely possible that the Idaho State Legislature will take this up in their next session, and perhaps they will amend it. Perhaps they'll remove it entirely. They'll void it. I'm not sure, but that would be super nice. I was really looking forward to, when that first happened, the fact that maybe this would really be the magic bullet. I mean, literally the magic bullet that begins to open up all the pre-existing trails and roads. Because the issue with Island Park isn't that we don't have roads. Good Lord, there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of pre-existing logging roads that have simply been closed. Those are the subject of the tank traps that I did a little video on in the middle of winter. There's tank traps freaking everywhere in Island Park to make sure that you do not take any motorized vehicles over these pre-existing roads. Some of these roads are paved, okay? I mean, we're not talking just old abandoned trails. They're actually paved roads that have been shut down and don't allow anybody to go down. So perhaps the governor, perhaps the state Congress will take this up, and best case, they throw the whole damn thing out, just like President Trump did. That would be potentially huge. And I would welcome that in the biggest possible way. That'd be just fantastic. Imagine opening up all these trails all summer long, fall, winter, get rid of these damn gates and just restore the forest to what it was decades ago. I think that would be nothing but good news. And you know, in the winter, it's not that big a deal. With your sled, you can usually go through the tank traps. Sometimes you'll get stuck. Sometimes you'll do a rollover. You can almost always go around them. But for anybody in the summertime, they just shut you down entirely. And I would personally, I'd love to see all that open back up. All right, guys, I'm coming to the end of the trail portion of my walk, and I'm heading back onto the road. So I will wrap it up for the night. I decided to do this video horizontal. I want to shoot this out and see if anybody's able to see it with the changes that Meta and Facebook have been making. It'll look great on YouTube. I do not know if any of you guys are going to see this on Facebook or not. They are really, really pushing hard for us to not do horizontal long format videos anymore. They want us to crank out, you know, half a dozen 90-second vertical videos every day rather than a single 10-minute horizontal. And you may have noticed there's days where I put out 3 or 4 verticals and I just skip, but for the real content, I'm gonna stick with this, even if I just have to cross-link and ask you guys humbly to go over to YouTube or to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there so you know what's going on. This is Christopher, your pirate guide, Graybeard, for Island Park and West Yellowstone on the Snowmobile and soon-to-be ATV channel, where we basically just promote getting out in the mountains, man. Getting out there and enjoying the beauty that is the Island Park caldera. I'll talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.